We've been here before, haven't we? Ah, yeah, that's right. Take a look at what Dave's label is. The normal guy. Great. Just from the label alone, you should know that he isn't normal, or at least as normal as he thinks he is. For one, Dave is a huge germaphobe. I don't think that's something completely unique to him, however. I think most of us can agree on the fact that we hate germs. Unless, of course, you're George Carlin.
Personally, I never take any special precautions against germs. I don't shy away from people who sneeze and cough. I don't wipe off the telephone. I don't cover the toilet seat. And if I drop food on the floor, I pick it up and eat it.
I guess it's supposed to be like an outrageous thing though, since Dave is constantly a freak about cleanliness, but okay, so what? He's a neat freak. Worse crimes have been committed. I mean, there's a person on this same cast who is a legit criminal, and the host of the show was one too. Pahkitew Island is a cast full of the weirdest, wackiest, and strangest characters, and I love it for that. But Dave is one character from the season I really don't like. The very first thing he does in the show points to how he views himself, especially amongst all of the, let's say, unique characters that surround him. Max is weird to him, which is accurate. He's weirded out by Leonard, which a little uncalled for. He was just trying to teach him a spell of his. And he's weirded out by Ella, which makes sense, but I'll get to all that in a bit. It's easy to point out Dave in a cast like this because, as his label suggests, he's the normal guy. But honestly, Sky is far more normal than he is. Oh, wait. That's probably why they were paired up together. They're the normal ones in this cast. Yeah, so in a season that's primarily based on pairs, Dave and Sky is one of the biggest ones. Their love story is probably bigger than Sean and Jasmine's because Sean and Jasmine, while being the weirdo couple I guess, go through like the normal stages of a relationship throughout the season, while Dave and Sky constantly hit all these walls before their resolution, or a lack thereof in the finale. Kinda funny how that works out, huh? Dave is such a hater though, as from the get-go he's just incredibly dismissive of his teammates. Now I can't exactly blame him due to the first challenge's result, but when someone brings you a can of soup, you should be appreciative. You'd at least expect that from someone like Dave. But one person on his team that he does not hate is Sky. She's a reasonable thinker, and by the following episode, he's got a crush on her. Dave gets calmed down by Sky when he suffers a panic attack from too much grease on him, and he appreciates it. And then Sky gets in her confessional and just says that she isn't here for boys but for the win. Too bad she didn't stand on business, because it is this crush that later becomes mutual that practically ruins Dave's life for good. Unlike Trent, who could somehow win over Gwen by not actually having to do a lot, Dave was pretty horrible with trying to win over Sky. She's made it clear what her intentions are despite her crush on Dave, but Dave just screws up every time. He rambles a lot, and one thing he loves to ramble about? His allergies. Oh, brother.
Because I'm allergic to bee stings! And tomatoes, wheat, and peanuts, flowers, mountain lion dander, and most fruit-flavored gums. Seriously?
Luckily for Dave, he isn't the only weird one in this relationship that pretends to be normal. Sky has a belching issue, which is perfect for someone like Dave. Whenever they're about to kiss or talk about their feelings for each other, Sky burps, and it's because she burps when she gets nervous. What's that saying about when a germaphobe and a belcher get together? Well, probably the opposite of Gene Belcher now I think about it. But yeah, these two basically have a Montague Capulet forbidden love, but it's because of germs instead of family rivalries. Although, Dave does make sure to comment on Sky's family. For lack of a better term, Dave is a dick. It's okay to not be in love with everything your partner or potential partner is into, but Dave is just so uptight about literally everything. He basically insults Olympic rhythmic gymnastics, which happens to be what Sky's sister does and likely what Sky wants to do too. He tries playing it off like he's smooth, but he is maybe the least smooth guy on the whole show, and Rodney is on the same cast with him. And just like his first ever moments on the show, Dave loves to comment on others. He finds it weird that Jasmine would have a crush on Sean as he apparently doesn't bathe. Okay, but maybe, but also that's none of his business, and also they live in a cave, and there's no bathroom in sight like the one on Camp Wawanakwa. So how do we even know Dave has been bathing? Dave has also trash-talked one of Sky's plans, but went along with it because he was desperate to be with her. The guy just does not have a lot of respect for anyone besides himself, but also will let go of his own self-respect just to get a whiff of Sky basically, and it's sad because this is how it all goes downhill for him. You thought this was all bad? But just wait until Sky gets transferred to the other team and Dave is alone with the freaks and weirdos he loves oh so much.
Will you be my jungle queen?
What?
I said, want some berries? They're clean.
Oh, thanks.
Now, either Dave needs to get on Brian Cage's steroids or Sky needs to find someone else for her. Dave gets so hysterical about him and Sky being separated. Even though she's trying so hard to deny her feelings, she is at least playing it cool. Dave is acting like he can't even survive now, and honestly, after he thought near-death experiences would make Sky want to kiss and date him, who knows what this guy will do. Well, after Sky ultimately chooses her new team over Dave, things get real scary. Sean, with his expert advice, tells Dave that Sky likes winners and not quitters. That was pretty clear from her dream, I would think, but of course, like Trent in Total Drama Action, Dave takes this advice way too far. In the first merge challenge, when they have to chug the juggy chunks, Dave makes a huge mistake by messing with an athlete. Due to Sean's advice, Dave powers through his germophobia and actually finishes his before Sky. He takes it a step too far though and then rubs it in her face. Just to preface, he didn't even win the challenge, he just won the race in his mind between himself and Sky. And you know what happens next?
You were never my boyfriend, and you will never be my boyfriend, and you have no shot of beating or dating me. Got it?
Yeah. You might be wondering why I titled the video what I did. This is why. Dave completely goes off the deep end after this happens. He finally gets put in his place, but it somehow makes him more desperate. He tries once again to get with Sky, but she is just adamant that nothing will happen between them, which turns Dave into a werewolf.
I'm a lone wolf! Ow! 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 Ow!
Now granted, I've never watched Twilight or really anything involving werewolves, but does Heartbreak really turn you into a mythical creature? This is the kind of stuff Sean had been trying to warn all of us about for the whole season. Dave is now just full of anger and, I guess, potential love for a full moon, to the point that he takes his anger out on a couple of birds and then exposes Sky's hiding spot to Sugar. In the end, Dave and Sky are up for elimination, and in a twist, it's revealed that Dave campaigned for himself to be voted off. Wait, what? Yeah, he did so because if he couldn't be with Sky, he didn't want to be there at all. That is just pathetic. He's yelling at these birds to not trust each other because the ladybird is just out for herself, but then he ends up wanting to leave instead of maybe wanting to vote Sky off. And after taking Sean's advice way too far, he actually became what Sean warned him not to be, a quitter. And then he's got the audacity to still be hopeful for a chance as he's about to get blown out of the cannon of shame. Sky is late to say goodbye to him or anything, but what really would have there been to say? I don't think she was harsh at all with what she said to him. He was desperate and was pushing it way too much, and she just told him how it was. I do think she should have told him a lot sooner that there was really no chance of something happening on this season, but oh well. Dave went completely crazy and yet still thought there could be something? What an idiot. And all of this makes it even weirder to me that Ella also had a crush on Dave. Don't think I forgot about that. Dave did, one good thing to her, which was a stereotypically fairy tale-like thing to do, and she was like in love with him or something. He was terrible. How he of all people got two women to like him is insane. I mean, he's nothing like Duncan. And I mean, I guess it's because he's the quote-unquote normal one of the cast, but even from just one conversation with him, it should be obvious that there's nothing there. I mean, Dave wasn't exactly that nice when he told her the picnic he had prepared was for Sky and not her. He should have just told her to shoo or something. I mean, he was just disrespectful to her. Now, despite Dave getting voted off, this is not the end of his story. The finale of the season, Dave totally gets picked randomly to be Sky's partner in the final challenge. She would have been better off with Leonard, honestly. Through some romantic manipulation, Sky gets Dave back in the zone and he's no longer complaining. No, instead, he's actually completely deluded himself again into thinking this will have a happy ending and he's gonna get buff and everything. I mean, come on. Chris McClain then does one of the best things in his entire career by playing Sky's audition tape for Dave to see.
That if I do get on the show, I'll really miss my boyfriend, Keith. Oh no!
Sky has had a boyfriend this entire time.
I am so, confused about what is going on with Dave and Sky. I mean, did you, hear that?
Exactly what I was thinking, Chris. What the hell? This is a Dave video, not a Sky one, but that is absolutely insane to me. Now Dave is a real idiot, but Sky also let him on for so long and was never honest with him about that. She is a big reason for what he turned into. And I'm not putting all the blame on her though, because Dave does have a lot of issues, but her not being upfront about things sooner did cause Dave to become this person. Also, Dave's almost bald look is just an awful look. I didn't even comment on that yet, but...
Oof, Maron, he looks terrible.
I think the look does help though with the overall vibe, as this is the episode where he fully destroys himself in any goodwill with anybody else. Dave and Jasmine go through some anger and want to see both Sean and Sky lose, but at least Jasmine shows some compassion for Sean before they get back together. Dave on the other hand, he wants to see Sky's life completely ruined. And with the stuff they're able to control, he could end up ending her life instead of just ruining it. And low-key, if he did somehow kill her, he might have been cool with that because he was that crazy about her not being with him. Like, Dave actually took joy in Sky and Sean potentially losing so he and Jasmine could win. He actually took joy in Sky being buried under heaps of snow, and he was legit upset when Sean or Sky won the season. The guy is an actual psycho. If things couldn't get any worse for him, he's then accidentally left alone on the island with a violent bear who looks ready to rip him to shreds. And that's how the season ended. It ended with you thinking that Dave just got eaten alive by this likely robotic bear. That's what's interesting to me though. The season didn't end with the winners or anything like that. It ended with the final bit of Dave's life because let's be honest, unless the bear malfunctioned, he's dead. It's almost like this season was the life story of Dave. He started out as the quote-unquote normal guy who was extremely judgmental of others, then he fell in love and became desperate, and then he completely fell apart and lost who he was at the end, and in the end, he was a bear's meal. But at the same time, maybe this is who Dave truly was all along. I mean, he was already very uptight and dismissive of things he didn't think of as quote-unquote normal or things he just didn't take seriously. Anytime Sky told him something, he took it a certain way and just completely ran with it. Sky should have done a better job at just cutting things off, but what sane person could predict someone like Dave to get as desperate as he did? I mean, he fully believed something was going to happen despite all of the times that he screwed up, said the wrong thing, or just took something way too seriously. Dave truly was his own worst enemy, and in the end, it caught up to him. And I do think Dave really is that kind of person. We all laugh at different people's misfortunes depending on what they are, but the way Dave becomes so maniacal in the finale is just beyond. Dave is the kind of guy who belongs in an asylum. Once you care that much about germs, surely you'll begin to care too much about literally every single thing, and he cared way too much about Sky. But that is the story of Dave. The sad and wild downfall of the quote-unquote normal guy. These normal guys don't end up being so normal, do they? Let me know what you think of Dave, and also let me know down below what else you'd like to see me talk about on this channel. Like the video, subscribe for more videos, and yeah, thank you for watching.